Now we have finished drawing our ogive, estimating our median from the ogive that we got that median is 61. Question number D said if cutoff mark is 63%, what percentage made it? If cutoff mark is 63%, that means 63% we are cut off. They didn't make it. It is very simple. The remaining percent, the remaining number that completes 6300 made it. That will take us to our D. 100% minus 63% made it. It's very simple. If you subtract 63 from 100, you're going to have 37. So 37% made it. And that has answered question number D. Question E said you should find the semi-interquartile range. Semi-interquartile. The upper quartile minus the lower quartile divided by 2 will give you semi-interquartile range. First of all, let's calculate the upper quartile. Upper quartile can be calculated CD. So this is our E. Upper quartile is equal to 3/4 n plus 1. 3/4. Our n is the sum of frequencies, addition of all these numbers, which gave us 200. So we have 200 plus 1, which is going to give us 3/4 times 201/1. Let's use our calculator and get this. Giving me 150.7. Because of our space, let's do question number F before we clean up to be able to do question number G, which is asking us the median from the formula. Remember, when we do question number G, we compare whatever we get from or with the median we got from our graph paper. So the question number F now, so we should find the interquartile range. Semi-interquartile and quartile are related, only that in interquartile you don't divide by 2, but in semi-interquartile you divide by 2. So the value we are going to have here is simply what we had here, which is 105. Subtracting this from this. Let's go by it again. 150.75 minus 50.25. Whatever we get here is our interquartile range. Let's subtract 150.75 minus 50.25. It's giving us 100.5. So this is our interquartile range. Now question number G. We're going to clean off and remove this our graph paper and use our formula to find the median in question number G. The last question we have, which is question G, so to find the median using the formula. I am going to clean this question. The only thing I will leave behind will be this table, because using the formula to find this median will take a lot of space. So by the time you see this whiteboard again, the only thing you'll be seeing here will be this table of value. All these questions, I will clean it off so that we have enough space. And this, I will change to here. The median we calculated when we used our ogive. calculated it to be 61. Because when we calculate the median again with the formula, we're going to compare it with what we got from the OGIF. Now we have cleaned up, and we are left with only that question number G that says calculate the median using the formula. The formula for median is calculated by this formula. L plus the sum of frequency divided by 2 minus the sum of frequencies of lower classes than the mean class divided by the frequency of the median class times the class width of the median class. This L is the lower class boundary of the median class. Lower class boundary of the median class. This means the sum of the frequencies divided by 2. This means sum of the frequencies of the class intervals that are below the median class. This is frequency of median class, and this is the class width of the median class. So we are measuring median class, median class, median class. What is median class? Because without median class, we cannot use this formula. I am going to teach you how to find the median class from frequency table. It is from here that we calculated the cumulative frequency table that we use in drawing our OGIF. So this is your normal frequency table where you have your class intervals and their frequencies just the way they are naturally. So from this frequency table, we are going to calculate or find our median class. If you sum up these frequencies, they will give you 200. We will not waste our time. You can do it on your own. This plus 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 this will give you 200. Now having that 200 as a point of contact, that means the midway of the frequencies is 100, because the midway or half of 200 is 100. Now, begin to add these frequencies from the beginning and from the end until you get a number that is closest to 100. What do I mean? 2 plus 5 is 7. We have added this and this. 3 plus 9 is 12. So we have 12 here. So add this to 7 now. 7 plus 11 is going to give you 18. So we have added this. So add this to 12. You can use the calculator. Here is giving me 48. Okay? So add this again to this, to 18. 20 plus 18 will give you 38. You have added this. Now add this to 48. It's giving me 94. It's going closer to 100 now. So let's add the next to this. 38 plus 26. Here I have 64. Now add the next to this, 136. Add it to this again. We have 42 plus 64. It's giving us 107. 6. Now, if you remove this last number, which you added this was where you stopped, and remove this number, which you added the same thing to get, find out that this number, now this number has gotten to 100. That means it was only when we added this that we'll be able to get to 100, or a number closest to 100. That means the median class is this class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Class number 6. So this is the median class. Put this asterisk there. So this is our median class. So whatever we want to do with the formula now that is connected to the median class will come from here. So we clean off this. I use this to teach you how to calculate or how to find the median class. So our median rate, that's L. I told you that this L is the lower class boundary of the median class. This is the median class. So the lower class boundary is going to be 59.5, because the higher is going to be 61.5. So write it down, 59.5. So we have 59.5 plus, open your bracket, summation F. That means the sum of the frequencies. Sum of the frequencies is when you add up all these things, and it gave us 200. So we're going to have 200 divided by 2, then minus sum of the frequencies of all the classes that are for the median class. The frequencies are, because you know, if this is the median class, all these other classes are below the median class. That means the frequencies from here to here, add them together. That means that's what we mean by summation of frequencies of classes that are lower than the median class. So we're going to add now. 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 11 is 18, plus 20 is 38. So we have 38 plus 26, giving us 64. So what to have here is 64 all over 1. That is 64 in fraction form. All these things divided by the frequency of the median class. The median class is this. The frequency is 42. So we're going to divide everything we have here with 42. Then what is left now is the class width of the median class. The class width of the median class is almost always the class width of any other class. What do we mean by class width? Class width is, as we have the median class to be this, the upper boundary minus the lower boundary, or the upper class number minus the lower class number, whichever way you go about it. So what is given us here is 61, which is the upper, minus 59, which will give you 2. So what you have here now is 2. So if you solve this arithmetic, whatever it gives you is the median. So let's go ahead. This is equal to 59.5 plus, this is 100. So what you have in the numerator here is simple. 100 minus 64. Then divided by 42. Whatever you get, multiply it by 2. So we have 59.5 plus, let's open one bracket now, or a smaller bracket. If you remove 64 from 100, 100 minus 64 will give you 36. So we have inside the bracket 36 divided by 42. So whatever we have times 2. So let's still go one step down before we go up there. So we have 59.5 plus, let's see what we have inside the bracket. 36 divided by 42 is giving us 0.8571 in 4 decimal places. It continued, but let's take it here in 4 decimal places. Whatever you have here now, times 2. Remember your board mass. You evaluate the bracket first. So what we're going to have after all is that our median is going to be equal to 59.5 plus, multiply this by 2. It's giving us 1.7142. 1.7142. Then add 2 of them together. Whatever it gives you is the median. It's giving me 61.2142. You know, I told you all these things are approximations. When we used our OGIF, we got 61. Now we have used the formula, we have got to 61.2. If you're asked to round 61.2142 to the nearest whole number, it's going to give you 61. You can see whichever way you follow, either by your OGIF, cumulative frequency curve, or by the use of this formula, you're going to get your median. This is question number 2. I would like to use this question to teach you how to calculate, most especially our semi-interquartile from the OGIF. In the first question, which was question number 1, we used the formula. Now, in this question, we're going to draw our OGIF, the cumulative frequency curve, and from the OGIF, I will teach you how to calculate the semi-quartiles. I will also explain to you the upper quartiles, the lower quartiles, the middle quartiles, and also talk about question number E, which said that you find the mark at the 70th percentile. So now the question says that the table below shows the mark distribution in a test. I suppose it should be a mathematics test. Because mathematics, whether you like it or you don't like it, is a must follow up. Wherever you go in the whole world, mathematics is applicable. But it's not all other subjects that are applicable everywhere in the world. Have you seen why mathematics is a must follow? Alright. So this is the table. These are the class intervals, these are the frequencies. The class interval of 11 to 20 has frequency of 3. 21 to 30 has frequency of 17. 31 to 40 has frequency of 60. It went down until 91 to 100 has frequency of 4. Now the question says we should draw the cumulative frequency curve. That means we should draw the OGIF. B said we should find the median from the OGIF. The OGIF we must have drawn in question A. C said we should find the semi-interquartile range from the OGIF. Formally, in the first question, we calculated semi-interquartile range with the formula. Now, we want to find it from our OGIF. Question number D says we should estimate the percentage of students that obtained more than 56 marks. Now, the last question E said we should find a mark at the 70th percentile. These are the things we are going to do in this question. And by the time we finish, you are going to know more about how to use your OGIF to calculate all these stuffs. Question number A. We should draw the cumulative frequency curve. I know now you know how to draft the cumulative frequency table, because it is from the cumulative frequency table that you will derive the information you will use in drawing your ogive. First of all, let's get the cumulative frequencies. You know, by addition. 3 is the first. So write 3. The next number is going to be 3 plus 17, which will give you 20. The next number now is going to be 20 plus 60. Plus 60 will give you 80. The next one is going to be 80 plus 48, which will give you 128. 128. 128 plus 27, 155. The next 155 plus 20, 175. The next 175 plus 13, 188. The next 188 plus 8 will give you 196. Then 196 plus 4 is going to give you 200. I have always told you, whenever you find your cumulative frequencies, the last number must be equal to the sum of the frequencies. What I mean that if you sum up all these frequencies, it's going to give you 200. That shows you that you are correct. Now, provide the table. Remember, what we are constructing now is the cumulative frequency table, from where we will draw our ogive. So here we have class intervals. Class intervals. While on the other side you have the cumulative frequencies. Cumulative frequencies. You have calculated it already, so begin to write it down. You have 3, you have 20, you have 80. I'm writing down all this. You have 128, 155, 175, 188, 196, the last but not the least, 200. So draw your line. Remember, you are going to plot this against the upper class intervals. So if you come to the class intervals, the upper class intervals here is going to be 20.5. So when you draw your lines of demarcations, before you bring in the upper class intervals that corresponds to these cumulative frequency values. So the first one is 20.5. So I'm going to have 20.5. The next will be 30.5. They will continue in that progression. 40.5, 50.5, 60.5, 70.5, 80.5, 90.5, 100.5. Okay, so this is our cumulative frequency table, from where we are going to answer question number A, right inside our graph book. As the question says, we should draw the cumulative frequency curve. which is the same thing as the OGIF. You can see our graph paper pasted at the extreme right on our whiteboard. So what we're going to do now is to bring it close so that we can start plotting the values we have on our cumulative frequency table right inside there. So this is the graph paper. We can see it closer now. First of all, let's go to the scale. The scale said on x-axis 2 cm will represent 10 units. That means on the horizontal axis, you know the x-axis, the horizontal axis, 2 cm. Each of these gaps measures 2 cm. We represent 10 units. Whereas on the vertical axis, which is the y-axis, the scale says that 2 cm will represent 20 units. That means when you are plotting on the vertical axis, each of these which measure 2 cm, you'll be having 20 units in between them. When next you will see the graph paper, I must have calibrated it. Then we'll go ahead to plot the values we have in our cumulative frequency table. You can see that I have calibrated the graph based on the scale that says 2 cm represent 10 units on x-axis. The x-axis is this horizontal axis. This is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 till we have 100. That is what it meant by 2 cm represents 10 units. And under it you have upper class boundary. So the values we have on the horizontal axis, x-axis, are the upper class boundaries. Now on the vertical axis, which is the y-axis, the scale says 2 cm represent 20 units. So that was why you saw on the vertical axis you have 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 till you have 220. Each gap of 2 cm you have 20 units. And there you have the cumulative frequency. So on this axis, the values we have on this axis are the cumulative frequencies. So we'll go ahead and do our plotting from the table of values, cumulative frequency table. We have 3 against 20.5. So come to your graph paper. This is the cumulative frequency axis, which represents the cumulative frequencies. So look for where you have 3. From here to here is 20. And we have 10 small squares. That means each of the small square measures 2. That was why you now have, if this is 0, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, then 20. So if from here to here is 2, that means in between here and here, halfway is 3. So trace the number of 3 now to where you have 20.5. 0 to this halfway here is 3. And you have 20.5. If here is 20 and here is 30, that means as long as you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 small squares, that means each of the small square is 1 unit. So if you're looking for 20.5, that means from here to here is 21. So in between we give you 20.5. So 20.5 and 3 you have the point here. So I'm going to plot this place, just at the middle here. The fainter you're plotting, the better. The next is 20 against 30.5. 20 is clear on the y-axis. Then against 30.5. This is 30. So if this is 30, halfway here is 30.5. So exactly here is where I'm going to plot. 20 against 30.5. The next is 80 against 40.5. 80 is also a clear figure on the y-axis. This is 80 and this is 40. So this is 80, this is 40. You can see this is 40, line of 40. So between here and here is, this is 41 then. That means midway here is 40.5. So we are going to plot exactly this place. So that is how to plot. You can see we have plotted 3 points. 1, 2, 3. When next you will see the graph paper, I must have plotted the remaining values. Then we will now join the values to get our ogive. You can see that we have finished plotting the points. This is the highest of the points. These are the other ones. These are the other ones. Until it come down to this place. So the curve will take this shape. That's one thing I want to tell you. When we were calibrating, the last place we saw we got here is 100, and we started from the beginning. So for us to accommodate 100.5, that was why the last figures on our table of values had 200 and 100.5. Look at 200 and look at 100. So 200 and 100.5 is somewhere here. Because of 100.5, that was why we extended our hand a little bit out of where 100 is. So that was why you have the last point in this place. I have taught you how to use a soaked broomstick, elastic broomstick. The broomstick will be elastic when you soak it in water. Yes, you will soak the broom in water and take it to exam hall if really you don't want to be trying to join your point and your broomstick will be breaking. So we're going to use our broomstick to join this point we plotted. I have taught you how to join the points. When next you will see this graph paper, I must have joined the point. Remember, you use that broomstick to join at least 3 points at a time. You join 1, 2, 3. Then after which you join 1, 2, 3. You join 1, 2, 3. Then you join 1, 2, 3 to give you a perfect and more accurate curve. That is the joined point now. It began from here, it went up and ended there. So the next thing we do now is to begin to solve our questions from our whiteboard as they came. Remember, the first question says, that's question number A, as you can see on the whiteboard, says we should draw the cumulative frequency curve. We have answered that question here. This is the cumulative frequency table with which we have plotted the cumulative frequency curve. which is what you have here, the ogive. That is the ogive. Then question number B says, find the median from the ogive. The median is the halfway on your cumulative frequency axis. The halfway. So just come to your cumulative frequency axis. What is the value you have on it? The highest point according to our ogive is here, and it corresponds to 200. Now the midway of 200, you know, is 200 divided by 2, which is 100. So come down to where you have 100. This is where we have 100. Then use a pencil. Don't mind that I'm using biro. I'm using biro so that what I am plotting, you will see it clear on the camera. You are supposed to be using your pencil to plot so that if you make mistake, you can easily erase. I am using biro because I know I will not make mistake. I am more perfect in it. Don't join me and say that Mr. James uses biro to plot graphs. If you make mistakes, that means you will condemn that paper and bring another one. You'll be wasting your time. So the question says, find the median. The median is the halfway on your cumulative frequency. Now go to your graph or your ogive. The highest number you have on the y-axis is 200, and it corresponds to where your ogive stops. It's the highest point of your ogive, and you have 200. Halfway, median means halfway, middle. Halfway of 200 is 100. Divide 200 by 2, you get 100. Now this line, or this point where you have 100, trace it to where it touches your ogive. You can see it touched your ogive here. So since it touched your ogive at this point, carefully and gradually trace this point down. Don't miss it. Trace it down. Trace it down. Trace it down. Don't miss it. Trace it down, because exactly at that point, whatever you have down there is your median. So this is where it comes now. So put a point here and read the value. Here is 40 and here is 50. That means the small space is 1. So we have 41, 42, 43. So this place is 44. That means the answer to that question B is 44. So just come write question number 2B. 2B. The answer there is 44. And that 44 is the median. They ask you for the median. So I finished with that one. The next question is question C. Question C says we should find the semi-interquartile range from the ogive. Find the semi-interquartile range from the ogive. So go to your ogive. Semi-interquartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile divided by 2. Now the upper quartile, first of all, you have to recalibrate the right side of your graph in percentages. Remember, quartiles are 25%, which is the lower quartile, 50%, which is the medium quartile, 75%, which is the upper quartile. So by the time you see this graph again, I must have calibrated. And look at how you calibrate. Since the highest value you have here is 200, you are going to divide 200 by 100. If you divide 200 by 100, it's going to give you 2. So that 2 is what you are going to, in every of the values you have on this divided by that 2, it will give you the equivalent value you have on the percent. What I mean is that now that you have 20 here, divide 20 by 2, it will now give you 10. That means 10 is going to be the first value you have here. The second one, you have 40 divided by 2, it will give you the next value you have here. So it will continue 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So when next you are going to see this graph paper, I must have calibrated this side on percentiles or on percentages. I have calibrated the right side of our graph paper on percentages, just as I told you. There are in between gaps of 10% each. We started from here, 10, we have 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70, 80, 90, and 100% at the apex. Now that question says we should find or estimate, find the semi-interquartile range from the ogive. That's question number C. Find the semi-interquartile range from the ogive. So now that we have calibrated this side of our graph paper, semi-interquartile, as I mentioned before, is upper quartile, which is 75%, minus lower quartile, which is 25%, divided by 2. So just go to where you have 75. This is 60, this is 70. Between 70 and 80 should be 75. If from here to here is 10, that means each of these small squares is 1, because you have 10 of them. So if this is 70, you have 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. So this line of 75, trace it to meet with your ogive, the curve. So trace it carefully. With this line, you can see it meets our ogive here. So you are going to trace this one vertically down. Whatever value it gives you there, that is the upper quartile. So we're going to trace it down now. Carefully trace it down. Carefully trace it down. Carefully trace it down. Don't be in a hurry. Trace it down. So you can see here we have, so put a point here, mark that place. Read the value you have there. So this is 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. So write it down. Remember you're answering question 2B, 2C, sorry. So write it down here. 2C. We had 59. So minus your lower quartile is 25%. So this is 10%. This is 20%. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It's 25%. So trace it to the ogive. Trace it carefully. Don't miss it. This is where it meets our ogive. So trace it down and read the value you have down. So this is the value we have down. So make a point here. So this is the point. So read the value. This is 30. It should be 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So write 39. If you divide the value you have here by 2, 59 minus 39 will give you 20. So if you divide this 20 by 2, to give you 10. So this 10 is our semi-interquartile range. Semi-interquartile range. Okay, let's go to question number D now. Question number D says that we should estimate the percentage of students that obtained more than 56 marks. Estimate the percentage of students that obtained more than 56 marks. Just go to your OGIF. Mark where you have 56 marks. This is the mark column. 56 marks. So this is 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. So this place you have 56, trace it up. The easier way to also do it is, says here is 50. Take it up. You can see it is close here. So that means this is your 50. So you can say 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. So that your tracing will be short so you don't make mistake. Tracing from down. So you can trace from here now to where you made the OGIF up there. So you can trace this. So this is where it meets your OGIF. So you can now trace it to your percentage axis and read the value you have there. Trace it carefully, don't miss the line. Trace it carefully, don't miss the line, don't be in a hurry. So this is the point. You can see the point is here. This is 70 and this is 80. The small squares is 1 each. So if this is 70, this is 71, this is 72. Now if this is 72, write it down, 72. The question says, estimate the percentage of students that obtained more than 56 marks. There is a sense there. The value you have calculated from your OGIF gave you 72%. This means that 72% of the students scored 56 and below. But the question is asking those who scored above 56. If 72% scored 56 and below, those that scored more than 56 is going to be 100 minus 72. Can you get the sense? So subtract what you have here from 100. Just write 100 minus 72. If you subtract 72 from 100, it will give you 28. So it is 28% of the students that got above 56 marks that the question has asked on the part of it. Now the E, find the mark at the 70th percentile. Come to your OGIF. Go to where you have 70%. This is your 70%. Trace it to the OGIF carefully. This is where it meets OGIF. Trace it down carefully. Don't miss the line. Carefully trace it down. Carefully trace it down. Carefully trace it down. Keep going. Keep going. Almost there. You are there now. Now read the value you have here. First of all, put a mark there. Now read the value. This is 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So question number, remember this is question D. So write D here. That is 2D. Now 2E down. The value we have there, let's read it again. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So that question, it is 55 marks. That is the 70th percentile. So come to this place and write 55. Write 55 marks. Yes, that has brought us to the end of that question number 2. I hope you followed us the way we went. This is our ogive. This is our cumulative frequency table.